This video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Get tickets to see your favorite team play using the best ticket purchasing app there is, SeatGeek. As not only do you get to see the view from the seats before you buy them, but on top of the already leading prices, you're gonna get an extra $20 off your first order when you use the promo code SDC at checkout. And Cleveland Cavaliers fans, you guys could probably get quite a few tickets for free using that promo code, but we'll touch on that in just a second. Anyways, I'll have the link so you can download the app down in the description box below. So now, all of a sudden, the Cleveland Cavaliers decide they want to fire Tyronn Lue. Now, out of all times, even though us as fans have been calling for this to happen for the past year and a half to 2 years, since sometime back in 2016, we've been saying that Tyronn Lue needs to go. But now all of a sudden, they decide it's time when it no longer even matters. And we know of this because Adrian Wojnarowski, of course, just dropped a bomb on us when he said this. After firing Tyronn Lue, Cleveland is planning to promote Larry Drew to interim coach. Management meeting with Drew now. And of course, the firing of Tyronn Lue has 100% to do with the fact that the team is now 0-6 on the year after losing to the Indiana Pacers last night. Now, I want to preface everything that I'm about to say by saying I'm not mad at the Cleveland Cavaliers for firing Tyronn Lue. We all know that it needed to happen. Like I said, for the past year and a half to 2 years, we as a community have been saying Tyronn Lue gotta go. That being said, firing Tyronn Lue at this point in time is absolutely 100% too late and completely irrelevant to anything that's going on in the NBA. Honestly, I thought that Billy Donovan would be the first coach to get axes here, but hey, you know, it is what it is. At least Billy Donovan getting fired might actually affect some things in the NBA, unlike Tyronn Lue getting fired. And just thinking about it, if anything, if the Cavs thought Tyronn Lue all of a sudden was so bad, I would have kept him. I would have kept Tyronn Lue for the rest of this year, maybe even next year too. Do you know why? Because if you have a coach as bad as Tyronn Lue is, you're going to lose more games, which is going to help you get better draft picks. So why fire him now and try and get a good coach when he should be losing in the first place? Unless, of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers don't think that they should be losing right now, unless they're still in denial that LeBron James was their entire franchise. Because if I'm being honest, I don't know if there's a coach out there, that being Brad Stevens or Greg Popovich, that will be able to do anything with the roster that the Cleveland Cavaliers have right now. So to me, it seems like either the owner, Dan Gilbert, or the GM, or most likely both, are just in denial about how bad this team is now that they don't have LeBron James. Like, do you guys know that you can literally get tickets to a Cleveland Cavaliers game for $2 to $3? $2 to $3 for a ticket to a Cleveland Cavaliers game. Back when I was in high school, they used to charge us $5 to see a game. Twice as much. You get twice as good of an experience going to a high school basketball game as a Cleveland Cavaliers basketball game. That's tough. And like I said, when you use the promo code SDC on SeatGeek, you get $20 off. You can get up to 10 tickets for free to a Cleveland Cavaliers game. 10 tickets for free. But anyways, yo, the bottom line is Tyronn Lue is finally gone. Doesn't make sense now that he's gone, doesn't matter now that he's gone, but he's gone. And the Cavs still aren't going to win more than 20 to 25 games absolute max. The entire state of Ohio had just better hope and pray that when Kevin Love does return to the basketball court, that he continues to up his trade value, so when the Cavaliers do trade him, because they had better trade him at some point this season, they can get a decent amount in return. And if I'm the Cavaliers, I'm most likely hitting up Phoenix and doing some type of package of Kevin Love and George Hill in exchange for a first round draft pick, TJ Warren, and then taking on the contract of Ryan Anderson as well. I think that could work out great for both sides. So are we all just not going to talk about how great DeMar DeRozan has been for the San Antonio Spurs so far? As like, why is no one talking about this? I don't understand. If he keeps this level of play up, he's going to be the best two guard in the NBA this year. All right, so the San Antonio Spurs once again have defeated the Los Angeles Lakers, and this time it wasn't as dramatic as it was the first game that these two played last week, but it was still pretty intense. And DeRozan in this game led the Spurs on a comeback, as the Lakers at one point in time did have a double-digit lead, but 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists for DeMar last night. And on the season so far, he is averaging 27 points, just under 8 assists and 6 rebounds per game. Man, if the Spurs still had the all-NBA level defense of DeJounte Murray this year, and we really had to start taking them as a serious threat out in the Western Conference, assuming that DeMar DeRozan doesn't disappear again in the playoffs, that is. And on that note, this might be extremely foolish of me. I actually think I have faith in DeMar DeRozan in the playoffs this year. I don't think he's going to choke. And that's mainly because he's on the Spurs now instead of the Raptors, and he'll have guys like Greg Popovich plus all their other veterans with playoff experience and Manu Ginobili and Tim Duncan there to mentor him, even though they're not going to be playing. DeMar DeRozan can still reach out for them to advice and help. So I don't think he's going to choke as much in the playoffs this year, but once again, that could be foolish for me to believe that. We'll just have to wait and see. But as far as the regular season so far, DeMar DeRozan has looked great. As for the Los Angeles Lakers though, 6 games into the season and people are already starting to grow antsy and even calling for Luke Walton to be fired. But look, you gotta give it more time. It took LeBron James in the Miami Heat like 20 games, or you could even argue an entire season, to figure everything out. And that was when he was playing alongside 2 other Hall of Fame level players. Right now, LeBron James is trying to figure it out playing with a bunch of young guys who don't even know how to win in the NBA yet. The man has said time and time again that this is a process and it's gonna be a long process. Let's keep it real here. No one should be expecting the Lakers to be a team that competes for a championship at all this year. This team isn't beating the Warriors. This team isn't even going to beat the Jazz or the Spurs or a bunch of other teams in the West if they were to meet in the playoffs just yet. So here, as long as the Lakers make the playoffs this year, we can consider that to be a success, and everything else on top of that is just the icing on top of the cake. So with all that being said, we gotta relax. Lakers fans, y'all have to relax. I know you guys are impatient, but you're gonna have to learn some patience because this is not gonna be a quick fix. Yeah, we all saw this one coming. Anthony Davis out with a sprained elbow, so there was no way that New Orleans was winning this one, and they rightfully got destroyed by the Jazz 132-111. Also, I just want to take this time to re-ask the question. Now, I've asked you guys this a couple of times before the season started, and I gave my opinion on it, but with everything that you've seen from the other teams in the West so far, now, do you think the Jazz could land a top 3 seed in the Western Conference? Like I said that they could before the season started, and now with Houston struggling, I think it's possible that the Jazz land the 2nd seed in the West. The Denver Nuggets low-key could too, and then with DeMar DeRozan playing so well, the Spurs are possible, and there's the Jazz too. Any of them could land that number 2 seed if Houston doesn't get it together soon, and that 3rd seed is wide open. But it's just crazy that the Jazz could legit be the 2nd or 3rd best team in the West. Before last season started, everyone thought they were going to be trash since Gordon Hayward left. I say that the Cavs firing Lue won't mean anything, but the Milwaukee Bucks right now are living proof of how much a simple coaching change can influence a team, as they still look like they can challenge Toronto or Boston for the title of the best in the East, as they remain undefeated, 6-0 the year. Granted, they did play the Magic yesterday, but they did what they should have. They won big time, 113-91. And the Pistons suffered their first loss of the season yesterday as they got blown out by the Celtics, 109-89. Game was pretty much over at halftime, as the Celtics defense didn't let Detroit get into any kind of rhythm whatsoever. 37% from the field and 19% from 3. Yeah, you're not gonna be anyone shooting like that. This man Kemba Walker, he is like the LeBron James of the Hornets, and he's the only reason that they have any wins at all so far this year, because without him they'd be 0-7 easily, and that is why he needs to get out now. Why waste your talent trying to get meaningless wins for a franchise that is going nowhere? The Sixers beat the Hornets yesterday 105-103. Joel Embiid with 27 points and 14 rebounds on the night. Well, Damian Lillard followed up his 41-point game with a 42-point game, but somehow not even that was enough for the Blazers to beat the Heat, as Miami gets the 120-111 win behind Goran Dragic and his 28 points. Devin Booker is out with a hamstring injury, and the Suns get blown out by the Grizzlies. Sounds about right. 117-96. Marc Gasol, though, with his best game of the season so far, scoring 19 points. And I know Zach LaVine was happy to see a team that the Bulls should be able to beat on the schedule for once, and he was going to do everything in his power to make sure that they won too, as he carried Chicago to the 97-85 win over Atlanta. LaVine with 27 points and 11 rebounds. And that is going to bring us to the player of the day, where you guys can vote for who you think was the best player in the NBA from last night by clicking the little eye icon in the top right hand corner of the video. Just remember though, the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day, and yesterday that player was Kevin Durant and his 41 points, including 25 in the 4th quarter, to go along with 9 rebounds and 5 assists. That's gonna do it for today's video though. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you once again for watching. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned turn on so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. Thank you once again for watching though, and until next time, I'm out of here. Peace!